Hey guys, this is Zahirul Pian again. So thank you for watching my video. In the previous video we have discussed up to this. We have selected we have highlighted this dynamic content that is appearing here. So in this video we are going to select we are going to select one of the radio buttons here, right? I will target this third radio button. You can go for any of the radio buttons, right? So I'll show you how you can select this third radio button. So let me go back to the code. So I have already written the code for this. So to select the third radio button, right? Select a different radio button. I have just printed a message here, and then to identify that object, let me show you what I have written in the code section. If you take a look here, so I have identified that object by XPath, and can you see if you go there, if you go to that object, right, you will where you will have to inspect here, right click on it, inspect, and then you go there. Can you see this is the input, and then I'm not going to use this type, I'm not going to use this name, I'm going to use this value to identify that object. Let me tell you why I'm not going to use type. That the value of type is radio, name, the value of it is outflight. I'm not going to use any of these properties, because if you try to highlight, if you try to inspect this, again you will see type radio, name, outflight. If you try to identify this, right, you will see that type radio, name, outflight. So if I use type radio or name, outflight, then all of these elements has same type and same name. So let's say in a room there are 4 David. If you come and ask, hey Mr. David, can you listen to me, then all of the 4 David will be confused, right? So you do not want to use, like if you have multiple David, you do not want to use Mr. David, right? You have to use something unique to identify one of the David from out of this 4. So now can you see all of these 4 radio button has same name and type. So we are not going to use this attribute to identify this object. If you take a look, this value, right, this value is different for each of these attribute, right? You will see the value portion is different. So that is what I have used, right? I have used to identify this object, right? If you go there in my code, right, you will see that I have used value equal to whatever value is there. I have used that one to identify that object, and then I have a code to see like if that object is displayed, and if the object is displayed, it will be here, it will be clicking on that object, right? So that's how I have selected that radio button. Again, the code is the same code you are going to use. The next part is I'll have to click, for you will be selecting a different radio button from here as well, but I'm going to click continue from here, right? Now if you inspect this continue, so again it has a name, reserved flights. So I hope this will be a unique one. So if there is any problem, I'll be selecting a different one, and then I'll be going through my code. So I have already created click continue in select flight selection page, right? And then that is the input, and then let me take a look what I am using. So it has a name, right, input, and I'm using the name attribute. I'm putting the value of the name attribute. What is the value of the name attribute is this, right? And then I'm clicking on continue, and then continue button is displayed, the continue button is there. I'm going to highlight it, and then I'm going to click on it, and then after that I'm going to say if the continue button is not there, I'm going to say the continue button is not there. Now let me make a call of this method from my caller. So let me go there, obj, and put it here. Now if I start the execution, let me save it and let me start the execution. Let me put a breakpoint here. let's say that we are in different radio button, right? Let me put a breakpoint here, double click and put a breakpoint there. Let me close the window, and then let me start the execution. Actually I'm going to debug, so I'm going to click this, and then I'll be waiting to see where it stops. Yeah, I'll give it a little bit time to start the execution. So it is going to open the browser, it's going to input the values, and then it has clicked on login, so it will be rolling there for a little while. I'll keep this recording paused here. Okay, so now I'm in this page, so let me see where my code, I think it is waiting here for me. Can you see it is waiting here for me? And now it should be so verify, right? Now it should be highlighting, this part. It should be highlighting on this London to Paris. So if I kick the execution off, right, let me keep going from here. Okay, you will see that if you go back to that website, it is highlighted, right? It is highlighted. Now let me see where my execution is. So now again select different radio button. Now I am in this function where it will be identifying this third radio button, right? So let me go there, right? Let me click it, and then let me come back here. Actually it has clicked on the third radio button, and then it has came to this page. Now let me go back to show you where it was able to select, right? Continue. Actually let me start this. Let me remove this breakpoint, because with this breakpoint you really cannot see things. So let me remove this breakpoint, and let me see if I have any other breakpoint. Yeah, I have another breakpoint here. Let me remove this breakpoint and let me do another execution. Let me close this browser and let me do another execution. So let me start from the beginning. So it will be taking a little bit time for the login part. Actually let's keep the execution going on. Yeah, so it is selecting the options here and then clicking continue, highlighting, and can you see it was able to select the third radio button. Now we are in this page. So in this page another question was asked to me, like how to select these check boxes, right? You will be inputting the other information, but in this video I'm going to show you how you can select these two check boxes, right? So let me just go there. The execution is good so far. So I'm going to show you how you can identify that checkbox. So to identify that checkbox, right, in this page you will be clicking on this checkbox, right? So you already know how to input value in this drop down, how to input value in these text boxes. So one of the question that was asked in the class to how you can click on this checkbox. So what do? Right click on this checkbox and inspect. Right now, can you see it is a input and then type checkbox. So if you have multiple checkbox, you do not use type to identify that object. Can you see both of this object is checkbox. If you inspect this one, you will see this one as well. Its type is checkbox. The name is for this one. Let me see what is the name. Inspect. Can you see? Name is ticketless. And then if you try to highlight this one has same name. So both of the checkbox has same name, that you value ticketless, right? Name ticketless. So you cannot identify this ticketless, although they are separate checkbox, but they has same name. You see, they have same name. So how will you be identifying these objects, right? Let's say you will have to what is called identify these checkboxes, but both of these checkbox, if you take a look, there doesn't have a unique attribute that you can use to identify, right? So that is where let me see if it has any kind of information that we can use. So I see that this has text. Can you see this text? This is a actually input, and where is the input is going to be n. This input is from here to here, and then we have a font from here to here. So that means these checkboxes doesn't have a unique identifier, unique value to identify. So we will have to use some new way. We'll have to find some new way to identify these objects. So we are going to learn some new things here. We have to use looping to identify these objects, right? Can you see the purpose of like both of these attribute, both of these object? Can you see? Input type checkbox, name ticketless, value checkbox, right? If you do this, right, can you see both of these checkbox, right? Let me put a, now if you highlight this, both of them has same attribute, right? So that is where we are going to learn a new way of identifying object. So bear with me. Now we are going to write a method that will be clicking on both of these checkboxes. So let me show you how we are going to write that method. So let's say that we are going to copy one of these. Let me copy one of these method and click on the check boxes. Right now, clicking on both of the check boxes. Right. So what I'll have to do now, I'll have to do something which will be capturing both of the checkbox. Now I'm going to create a list of web elements. So checkbox, you identify the checkboxes in the same way, but as I do not have a unique description for both of this object, I'm going to create a description that will capture both of this object and save both of this object to a list. So I'm going to show you how you can create list. So here, instead of web element, you put a word list in this way, right? And then Chrome driver find, instead of element it will be elements, right? So what we are going to do, we'll have to import this, right, list, import this list, and then let me see what we are doing. Actually it will be list. Let me remove this. If I put list, and then actually let me go there and remove this list. This is not a Java, this is Java util list. So what I will have to do here, I'll go there and can you see, you'll have to bring this Java util list. Okay, now can you see that forget about these errors here. So I'm creating a list of web element. Now when I'm creating, now it is input, I know, and what is the name? Let's go there in the application, and the name is ticketless. Now we know that with ticketless we have two elements, so both of the elements will be coming and we will be saving both of them. So we are going to put here ticketless. Now name ticketless, how many elements do I have in this space? Two of the element, this one and this one, both of the element has name ticketless. So now I have created a list of element. Instead of one element, I have created a list of element. In that list, how many elements do I have? Two elements. So what I will have to do here, I'll have to do a loop. Now for, right, for, and then for, I'm going to say for web element, I'm going to declare a web element web ele, and then from where, so this is not continue button, it is check boxes, right? Now I'm going to use this. So what I'm going to, you understand this, what I'm going to say here, for each of the web element we have here, right, bring one of the element. So however many we have, bring the first one and put it in this variable, right? So let's say we have three biscuits here in this container. So we are taking one biscuit and put it in this variable. So out of this two elements, one of the element is here in the web element, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to say web element dot click. Okay, and it will take the first element and it will save it in the web element, and then I'm clicking on it and it will be going for the next one, it will be putting it in the web element, and I'll be clicking on it, and then I know that there are two elements, so it will be clicking on all of the web elements. Got it? Hopefully it makes sense. So then I'm going to call this method. You will see it will be clicking on both of these checkboxes. So if I come here and then put it libobj dot this method, right? Now let me run it again, right? So let me start from the beginning and I'll show you how it goes. So it is logging in login part. It will take a little bit time, but rest assured it will be bringing the elements soon. So it is there. Now can you see that both of the checkboxes clicked? Both of the checkboxes clicked. How? So we have, what we did, we have created a collection of object here. So you have noticed that both of the checkboxes checked, and how we did it, we have created a collection of object here. Many of you have asked me question, okay, what is the use of for loop in testing? I want to see a use of for loop. So this is an example of how you can use for loop. If you work in real automation, this for loop, using do while loop, comparing string is your bread and butter. You'll have to do it every day if you work as an automation tester, right? So what we did here, instead of creating one element, we have created an list of elements. How you do it, right? Like this. So instead of web element, you put that list word, and here find element, instead of element you put elements. So then what it will do, whatever object has ticketless, the attribute name ticketless, it will bring all of those objects, and then it will store those objects here. Now it is not a single object, it is a collection of objects. Now from this collection I'm taking one object at a time and saving it to web element, and then by using that I'm clicking on it. So if you have 100 objects, it will be taking one at a time, and it will be doing whatever you like on it. So that's how you create collection of object, and then later on you use them by using loop, right? So that's what the question was asked to me in the class. So I have basically answered your question, selecting a radio button, different radio button from that list, and how to interact with these checkboxes. So we have created the list. Why? Because all of these checkboxes here, they have same attribute. So that's why I have created this list. So hopefully I was able to answer your question, but if you have any further question, shoot me an email or let me know. In the class I will try to provide you more information. Now this code what we have written here, let me show you the whole code. So that is what we have written here, right? Okay, and that's all guys. I appreciate that you had time to watch this video. Thank you. Bye.